Okay, so I got a friend. He told me he has an opportunity to sign a deal, and and I'm happy for him. And then this is actually not about him. I'm gonna just talk about some things that I've seen being in the music business for a while, and having the opportunity to sign deals and walk through it with artists, from the independent level all the way up to the majors, doing a deal with Russell Simmons and L.A. Reid. We did a joint venture with Spoiled Rotten Global Music. And it is it can be a stressful process. Bottom line, like, what happens a lot of the time is some people sit together and an A&R or an executive or somebody in a position to help is moved by your work, so much so that he wants to help you, and he sets about trying to help you the best way he knows how, doing his job. He goes to the executives, the vice president or whatever, and he says, man, I believe in this guy, I think that we could do something, or this girl or whatever, or this group, and and I think that this is some cool art and I want to help them, and let's do a deal. And they convince people, people get excited, everybody sits down, they talk, they negotiate, they might ask the artist what they want, and and then try to make that happen. And what it boils down to is they come up with paperwork that binds them together, that locks them in so that they can they can do business together. But what happens is record labels have been in the habit of stealing from artists, and it's never been about the artist. And so you'll find that a lot of the times, once the lawyers get involved, all of the stuff or parts of the stuff that you discussed and that you wanted to do, all of these great things that you're trying to make happen, legally end up getting thrown into disarray, let's say. And a document arrives that doesn't say exactly what it is that you talked about. And that's because they're accustomed to doing a certain way, and they're shuffling paperwork that's been recycled, and this is the way that we do things, and this is common policy, or maybe and some of the stuff is for the purpose of protection. A lot of it is done for the purpose of profitability, yeah, definitely to avoid liability. And they don't want to take risks with their money, and they want to make sure that in the end they're protected. And so they give you this paperwork in good faith, and you take it to your lawyer, and if your lawyer is diligent, he discovers things that like he's talked to you about what it is that you said that you wanted, and what you discussed, and what you were supposed to get, and he reads the paperwork and he highlights the different things that would stop that from happening, or look like they're not in your best interest, and he sends that back. And what they're supposed to do is highlight the things that they disagree with and send it back. But a lot of times what they'll do is they'll rewrite the contract, they won't make any notations, and they'll send it back. So your lawyer has to really be on point and go through that thing with a fine-tooth comb in order to find the discrepancies and point them out and argue them and go back and forth. And sometimes you can actually end up in an impasse where you can't move forward with the deal because you're just not in agreement, or the lawyer has convinced the record label that it wouldn't be good to compromise on this, or an executive made a decision that they want to keep certain things and they don't want to give certain things away, or they don't want to commit or whatever, and things change, and so it's a constant renegotiation to get to that place. But what I say to artists is, don't give up. Compromise maybe, but really try to make the deal happen. I mean, follow through, even if like phones. Hey, sorry about that. I had like a little thing. I don't know if you heard, like, while I was recording before, the wind outside is just, it's insane. Tornado outside almost, like it's a hurricane without the rain. I just heard something crash on the roof. I don't know if you guys heard that, but sometimes in the midst of these negotiations, the phones will go dead. It's almost like they lose interest, or they don't want to move forward, or they think that they're at a place like where they can't move past a disagreement. But what I say to you as an artist is, you have to be persistent. You have to be persistent. You have to not let go and do everything in your power to make this deal happen. And, you know, if that means that you're sticking to your guns and you insist, do that. If that means that you're willing to compromise on this, and that, but not this, then do that. But, in the end, I think that some of the best ways to make these agreements happen are to find ways to add interest for the record label. You know, not just be thinking about yourself, but be thinking about your whole label and who's on the label. And, you know, this could lead to a collaborative effort, like where their artist pops off because of something that you do. Maybe you're a great songwriter, or you write great hooks, and you have hook ideas for artists that are already on their label. You can say, hey, well, you know, I can throw this into the deal, and I can do this on my own side. So, you know, the reason why I'm asking for this money is, you know, this extra, like I need this extra whatever, is because it's going to help me with my own studio setup so that I'll be able to be more productive. But without that, the kind of deal goes sour. Or the reason why I need, you know, guaranteed video budget is because I have a dance team, you know, or something visual, like a graffiti artist or something that I want to, you know, he's down to do this, like, and he's not going to cost you anything, but we need to know that this is going to happen. You know, so whatever it is, just, you know, always keep the deal open as long as you can, and try to sign and commit, because getting into the game is just the beginning. You know, being on the outside and independent and making things happen is great if you have the energy and the time and the dedication and all of the team components and all of that stuff that you need to make that happen. It can be a grueling situation where you don't have time for a relationship. You don't, you know, you can't quit your day job, but you can't sleep. I mean, look at me, like, no sleep. You know, I was out yesterday doing the thing. I stayed up late, worked on some stuff. I slept a few hours. I got up and I look like this with dark circles under my eyes. And it's just, you know, it's the cost of being self-employed or doing, you know, working for yourself. Maximize every day, maximize every opportunity as an independent. Whereas when you got label support, your manager can take care of that phone call. And, you know, he may need your input, but really you're free to be in a studio. And you can just focus on getting your studio recordings, doing your performances. Maybe you got a radio interview in the morning you got to be up at the crack of dawn for, and your eyes will look like this after performing all night and networking till 4 or 5 a.m. or, you know, 3 a.m. and, you know, you got to be up at 4:30 to get to the radio station. That's real, you know. And it's great if you have a team that can help you do that. Someone who can book that for you. Somebody who has those connections. Somebody who is getting you radio spins. That's what a record label is supposed to do. If they're not doing that, and that's not part of your deal situation, then, you know, what do you really need them for? Another thing that I wanted to address is that I see labels doing this thing, these distribution deals. But this is a few years ago. I saw them really pushing to sign artists to distribution situations where there's no budget. They're not giving you any upfront money. They're signing you and owning your content. But you have to do all of the work. And if you make something happen, then they take a chunk of that. And then they start to, I guess, be a little bit friendlier and maybe make some phone calls or put you on some stages and stuff like that. But before that, they're just really just an imprint on your product that you can sell your product and say Universal, like, in other words, on or affiliated with the Universal record label, which for me, I'm just like, I don't know, if you like brands and logos and stuff like that, that's great, but what I need is financial backing, and I need people to connect me with the right people. I need things happening in order for me to want to commit and share my earnings with the record label. Not do all the work, blow it up, and then they take a chunk and then maybe start doing some stuff for me if they believe in the product. I'm just like, that's like saying you don't believe in my product if you're not making calls and you're not shooting my stuff to your radio promoter and or your retail promoter, you know, and get me in some, you know, magazines, get me some press, hooking me up with a PR person, you know, and you pay the bill, you know, and let me get, you know, public relations happening, a video shot or something, like something that's going to help me to move my product forward. So those are just some of my thoughts about the record deals and the contracts. If you got any questions, feel free to comment below, ask. You know, you can also email me or text me. Like my phone is always in the video, so you know, call, text, whatever. I'm open. You know, I'm down to consult. You know, I help where I can, and I'm honest enough to tell you that if I don't know something, I'll tell you I don't know. You need to go see an entertainment lawyer. You know, and you know, I guess we'll talk about finding a good entertainment lawyer and like how to do that at some other point. And if somebody wants me to talk about that, like I said, comment below. Please like the video, please subscribe if you haven't done that already, and share, and you know, and above all, love. You know, one.
Stacked $1 million, took it to the top, blowing money fast, y'all. They call me Big Shot. What you know about the money? What you know about the Rolex? Diamonds on my wrist, y'all. I'm so blessed.